Good evening, my name is Kacper Paradowski and you're watching Poland Daily News. Today, the first of a series of thematic conventions of the Law and Justice Party took place. The convention, which took place in the Łódź Special Economic Zone, was dedicated to family. Mateusz Morawiecki and Law and Justice Chairman Jarosław Kaczyński, among others, spoke during the pre-election event.
Wszystkie te programy antyrodzinne, arodzinne.
All these anti-family programs that do not serve the family, they are an attack towards a certain model, a civilized model, also Christian, but not only. Nonetheless, very strongly based on Christian values. We have a response to the observation that a woman often returns home and is with her children at home, performing additional work. Our response is to appreciate families and to appreciate the work of a woman. Our response is in this program, here before us. We will ensure full pay equality and equal conditions in the workplace for both men and women. There must be a future for Poland, and the future before Poland is only when the future of Polish families is secure. Families with children appreciated through the 500+ program, proportional to each child.
Na każde dziecko.
Dziś trwa atak na polską rodzinę.
An attack on a Polish family is underway. It aims to undermine its essence, to make it at most one of the possible solutions, not the best, because it is burdened with many different flaws. Apparently, it is something that reconciles the rights of women and children in particular, is a sphere of pathology. That is what the opposition says. Of course, there is no such social institution that is perfect, but there is no social institution that would contribute more to creating the most benevolent civilization in the history of the world than the Christian civilization. And our family, whether you like it or not, is growing up in Christianity. We are tolerant. This is a feature of our nation. And this is also a feature of our party. As I have already said, yes to tolerance, but to the affirmation of everything that comes to anyone's mind, no. I say this to ensure that the Law and Justice Party is guarding the Polish family. It is, and it always will.
Stoi, będzie stało.
Tens of thousands of Poles gathered today for one of the largest religious events in the country in recent decades. During the event, named Poland Under the Cross, Poles will gather for common prayer in around 800 cities in Poland and across the world.
The Poland Under the Cross is an incredible religious event that took place today. The date was not chosen accidentally because the Catholics celebrate the Feast of the Cross on September 14th all over the world. The event took place at the airport in Wrocław with the participation of hundreds of thousands of faithful. People gathered here in Kruszyn to jointly pray on rosaries, participate in the Holy Mass and pray the way of the cross. Maciej Bodasiński and Lech Dokowicz were the organizers not only of today's event, but also last year's Rosaries to the Border.
Polska potrzebuje momentu zwrotnego dzisiaj.
Poland needs a turning point today. We need to turn back from the path of losing our faith. One should stop this train called Poland, change the track, and again bring our country, our children, our families onto the path of faith. A cross is more than just a symbol. You can really stand under the cross, and the cross really is an authentic sign of faith. The Church teaches in such a way that during every Mass, every Sunday, a person stands under the cross and receives the body of Jesus.
I przyjmuje żywo ciało Pana Jezusa.
A different large cross also stood here. Now it stands at Włocławska Dam, the place of death of Father Jerzy Popiełuszko. They managed our thoughts and plans of our friends from the Solo Dios Basta Foundation so that their steps were directed here, to Włocławek. After all those years, the cross stands in the same place. It reminds us again of our values, our foundation, and the beginning. The harvest moon, which is the full moon nearest to the autumn equinox, lit up yesterday night for the first time in years. The last time we witnessed it was during martial law under the communist government of the Polish People's Republic in 1981. If anyone missed seeing it yesterday, they will get another chance tonight. The next one is 18 years away, in 2033.
Tonight we are able to observe harvest moon, the full moon, on Friday the 13th and actually on the 14th as well around the world. Also here in Los Angeles, literally in 20 minutes, there is going to be sunset and the brightest moon of the year. Not only the year, the next type of full moon we're going to see in 2049. So hopefully many people are able and were able to observe this fascinating phenomena that literally comes every 30, 40 years. And also it's the Friday the 13th. I'm here in Los Angeles on the top of the mountains in Studio City with this amazing view. Here waiting for sunset. Literally it will show up in 15-20 minutes because in California sunsets are very quick. There is literally 15-20 minutes between dusk and sunset. So I'm here observing, waiting for amazing full moon, and hopefully in Poland everybody saw it as well. And let's wait until tomorrow because it's going to be 2 bright nights. Harvest moon for all those who work in actually harvesting. All the farmers, these 2 days are crucial and were very crucial before we had electricity. From Los Angeles, especially for Poland Daily, Małgorzata Schulz.
The number of new migrant arrivals to Greece from Turkey has increased significantly over the summer. The migrants are now moving through Greece and the Balkans in an attempt to reach wealthy countries in Western and Northern Europe. The new migrant flows are again straining relations in the EU over the issue of immigration. More than 9,000 migrants arrived to Greece from Turkey in August alone, forcing the Greek authorities to start transferring migrants from overcrowded asylum centers on the Greek Aegean Islands to the Greek mainland. Turkey, with more than 3 million Syrian refugees, maintains an agreement with the European Union to keep migrants from flowing towards Greece. However, this month, Turkish President Tayyip Erdogan said Ankara may reopen the route for migrants into Europe if it does not receive adequate international support for a plan to resettle refugees in northern Syria. Many of the migrants recently transferred to the Greek mainland are now making their way to countries in the EU, which will guarantee them higher welfare and a better standard of living.
Greece is good, but Greece is no give me home and no have food. I stay here, like one year I stay here, and no give me home, no nothing here. I want to go another country.
Many of the migrants point to countries such as France and Germany as their intended end destinations.
I try to go in Macedonia, then Serbia, and then Germany, France.
The increasing number of migrant arrivals has reawakened urge in the many leaders in Western Europe to create a new EU asylum law which would force all member states to receive EU migrant relocation quotas. French President Emmanuel Macron is one of the most ardent proponents of mandatory relocation quotas and made his stance clear during a recent visit to Greece.
En matière de migration, nous devons trouver une solution européenne.
On migration, we need to find a European solution to get out of this impasse. I am also aware of all the imminent responsibilities that Greece has taken this past few years on the subject of migration and how migration has weighed on economic and social issues in your country. Progress has been made towards the establishment of disembarkation mechanisms of individuals rescued in the Mediterranean. But solidarity is still very much lacking in Europe. Some have again taken unacceptable decisions and the handling of recent cases remains insufficient.
Des cas récents demeurent profondément insatisfaisantes.
The idea of relocating migrants across the EU was also echoed by the new right-wing Greek Prime Minister Kyriakos Mitsotakis. I completely echo your words, Mr. Macron, that we have to talk about a Europe that protects its citizens, and so I use the same words to talk about a Europe that protects its citizens. The load should not be carried only by the countries located in Europe's borders. Countries should share this responsibility by showing true solidarity. The Visegrad Group, consisting of Poland, Hungary, the Czech Republic and Slovakia, has long opposed any mandatory quotas, setting the stage for a major political dispute to take place in Brussels over the issue. That's all for tonight. Thank you for watching. Stay with us for Poland Daily Business. Good night.
Welcome to Poland Daily Weather. Let's take a look at the forecast for tonight. Clear skies in large parts of the country. Some clouds will appear over Białystok. The temperature will range from 10 to 14 degrees. Pressure will rise. And now over to tomorrow. Sunny weather across Poland. A maximum 24 degrees on the southeast. Late overcast is expected on the northwest. The hot weather will continue in the following 3 days. Monday will be quite rainy with temperatures ranging from 30 to 20 degrees. On Tuesday, our country will get alternating rain and sunshine. The temperature will hover around 14 degrees. Wednesday will be even a bit warmer with temperatures up to 24 degrees. Loads of sun is expected across the country. Thank you for watching and goodbye.
You're watching Poland Daily Business Edition. Tonight our guest is Maciej Żukowski, Director, Tax Director of Ministry of Finance. Sir, welcome to the show.
Welcome. Hello.
Let us clear one thing. The Prime Minister Mateusz Morawiecki said that for the next budget of 2020, the state will have no deficit. And I can't remember such situation when Polish state has no deficit in the budget. So what enables Prime Minister to say that?
Indeed, it's a unique and spectacular situation in our modern history. That's the first balanced budget where no deficit is planned to occur. And basically I'm very happy about it because due to the very reasonable and clever tax policy, we were able to collect enough money to cover all of the budgetary expenses. And we're happy about it.
Okay. On one side, there are lavish social spendings that some financial orthodox would say that all this social investment in 500 plus, in the programs, in the children programs, is excessive. On the other hand, the government said we will not make another debts to the budget. And that's the balance that's very tough to make.
I would also add to your list the personal income tax decreases. First of all, something which is already signed by our president and works, which is the exemption of people below 26 years from a personal income tax, and another tax decreases. And somebody does not notice that this money will come back to the market, will support the consumption, and if you support the consumption, you sell more, and therefore more taxes will come. To be totally honest with you, we do not calculate this effect of tax increase in our budget. So you may easily face the situation where not only the budget will be balanced, but we also would have some surplus for the next year.
We are in the election campaign right now in Poland. There is less than about 30 days to the election. So it is... some people say that those are only the promises, one of the election promises, like many of those, and who knows what will be in 2020. My question to you, though, is it part of the larger strategy of the build-up of Polish economy that we can say count into decades?
Well, some people say that this is election gifts. I have a little bit different opinion in that respect, because obviously, coincidentally, the government gives and gives in that particular year. But what you have to notice is the fact that this money needed to be gathered first. We needed to go through a lot of very tough tax reforms without changing, let me repeat that, without changing the nominal rates of taxation. We enforced the better collection of taxes. We gather that money, we calculate that money, and right now we can actually give that money for, as you say, lavish social contributions, which basically stimulate the market and stimulate the consumption. And that effect, let me repeat that, is not included in the budget. So if that money is spent in Poland, and I believe in 95% it would also give the additional boost to our economy.
Despite the upcoming slowdown
exactly.
that everyone expects, but still there is not see. I mean, it is in Germany, but the question whether it will come to Poland is still open.
So, answering your question, yes, it is a long-term strategy.
Okay, what about the Polish entrepreneurs and those who are opening their businesses in Poland? Because we are at the top of the lists of the countries that where the international entrepreneurs are looking for investment.
Well, we have obviously we're a normal economy, and by normal I mean we do not build any traps for the entrepreneurs. We welcome them via several incentives, such as research and development incentive or IP box incentive. We still quite economical country if it comes to the cost of labor. I believe, and I would be probably advertising our country right now. This is the place. This is the place to do business.
This is a good place to do business, and
both legally and geopolitically.
And everyone is on the same terms. We had the situation a couple of years ago when the foreign investors, foreign companies operating in Poland had the privilege over the local ones. I even heard the lady who was originally German, married to Polish man, had Polish last name, and when the tax office learned that she's German, said, "Oh, no, so there are different rules for you."
I don't believe we are facing that situation currently.
No, and that's good news. Maciej Żukowski, Tax Department Director of the Ministry of Finance of Polish government, was our guest, sir. Thank you very much for this conversation. And that was it for tonight's Poland Daily Business.
Welcome back to Poland Daily. Let's take a look at the forecast for tomorrow. Sunny weather across Poland, a maximum 24 degrees on the southeast. Light overcast is expected on the northwest. And now over to our continent. The highest temperature will be in Sofia, 33 degrees. On the Iberian Peninsula, thunderstorms and rains will appear, while in central and on northwestern part of Europe we will see plenty of sunlight. Thank you for watching and see you soon.
Good day, everyone. My name is Maria Kądzielska, and this is Poland Daily Culture. Our guest for today is Aleksandra Gintrowska, singer, actress, and also a very beautiful woman. Ola, thank you for being with us.
Hi, and thank you. I'm really happy to be here.
But before we dig up all Ola's artistic secrets, let's listen to one of her songs. Ola, regularly since 2 years you participate in Przemysław Gintrowski's concert. What kind of concert is it? And why do you keep still in life his music?
Oh, wow. Well, first of all, Przemysław, I feel like his music and him, he was kind of leader for people, not only like his music, but people use his music to survive, like his music, and not only his, but also Łapiński and Kaczmarski, the three of them, the trio. They were very important for people during the solidarity times. And people were using this music to make some statements, to have purpose, to fight for their future, for their lives. So he was important in the music too, and especially the lyrics, they had a really important meaning.
But
so we decided to make the music more alive, to bring the memories, since all of them, unfortunately, they're already passed away. We decided to, memorize them and their music, and especially Przemek, who was my uncle. And we decided to perform it in a little bit different picture, because usually Przemek and the trio, they performed with guitar and a piano. And our aim was to perform it on a bigger scale, and we do the concerts with the whole orchestra and the band, with a choir and different musicians.
Every year there is a new concert, and then you travel with this concert all over Poland to different cities and different stages. How Polish audience react on this music? Are they interested? Are there rooms filled with people, and do they want to relive it again with you in a new interpretation?
Yes, it's actually really beautiful and touching, because we get different audience. We get people who are from those times, and for them it's like reliving again, like you said. And what's important for me, we get also young audience. And for us, it's a lesson for them. Like, we are trying to teach them what happened. We're trying to bring them a little bit of memory that they didn't have. And for those who actually were in those times, it's a great, present for us, because after the concert, they usually come and they say that it was a beautiful, time and moment for them, so touching that some of them even were crying, because, they moved in time and felt like they were in those times. So it's the best gift that we can get for us performance, when people say that thanks to us, they were able to move back and relive it again.
To concert, as an addition, is also a Gintrowski's award. It was given already 3 times. How do you choose the prize winners? Who are they? Why those people?
Yeah, so the first time when we came to the idea of, just creating this concert, we also thought that it would be good to to do something also with the name of Przemek and with this whole music project, we also decided to add an award. Because Przemek was an extravagant person and he was always going his own way, we decided to also create an award and give it to people from around the culture, like from art, music, poetry, whatever, you know, combines entertainment and art. We decided to give it to people who also decided to go their own way.
For the rebels.
Yes, exactly, like rebels. They do what they feel, they follow their heart. Sometimes not usually when it's right, for what the culture says it's right, they do it against it. But they follow their heart, that's the most important. They're doing what they feel is right for them, not for what everyone else says is right. Yeah. So the first award was actually given for 3 people. The main award was for Stanisława Celińska, and then the second and the third award was for Antonina Krzysztoń and Jan Polkowski. So people from, you know, actress, musician, and poetry writer, right? And then the second award was for Ewa Błaszczyk, not only for her acting,
singing.
Yes, like she's also actress and singer, but she's also doing a great, you know, work for
charity work.
Yeah, charity work.
Which one actually I can underline for our audience as well, that Ewa Błaszczyk created a hospital which is dedicated to people in coma, especially to children. And she managed, with a bunch of doctors, of course, managed to wake up already a lot of them, which is incredible, and it's unique all over the world. They co-work with Japanese doctors. And for you, our audience, for all those who are fans of alternative pop, we recommend you to go online and check out Aleksandra Gintrowska's songs. And thank you for watching Poland Daily Culture.
This is the story of a remarkable woman. Maria Zawera Wąsowska, née Grochowska, was born into a very different Poland. She comes from an old Polish noble family with long patriotic traditions. As a young girl, at the outbreak of the Second World War, she saw first Russian and then German troops in her family home. Arrested with her family and held in prison by the Gestapo, she later joined the Polish underground and fought under her uncle, Remigiusz Grochowski. In 1944, she participated in the Warsaw Uprising, fighting in the Mokotów district. In this program we hear, in her own words, the remarkable story of her life during those dark days, culminating with her heroism during the Warsaw Uprising, for which she was awarded one of Poland's highest military medals.
We have been evacuated from over there because the Americans, they were bombarding us. And during one night, we arrived south from over there. The other night through Düsseldorf.
Right.
Duisburg.
Duisburg.
Through the bridge, and we stayed over there exhausted because we were walking such a long time. everybody, we have been like 30, 35 people. On this moment, we thought, that's the moment for us to be separated, because we didn't want to be together with all this crowd. So there was everybody sleeping on the street. Here houses, big street. On the other side, wall, bombarded with a hole in. So I said, look, I prepared my girls to say, we are leaving now. We are leaving Duisburg because it's very dangerous, and we will be going where we want, not where somebody. And one after another, we have been going like for the business. Before, behind the wall, and when we have been 6 together, we started to go away, and like that we have been out of Duisburg, and over there for the first night we started to be hungry, and a Polish guy from
Silesia, this Polish chap from Silesia, yes.
He was with the thing full of food for the army where we stayed, and he gave us this food. We have been happy, and also we found for the night the place, and each day we were going in freedom. That was really freedom.
So that was freedom. So that was sort of a happy ending to the adventure you'd had.
And on the Easter, we have been invited by the farmers. Were perfect, very nice. Only during this time where we were walking in freedom, there was twice somebody who was. I was going to the door to tell, please, can we spend the night in this Scheune? And always it was okay, and they were giving us Milchsuppe. It was fantastic. And Easter, they invited us to eat something in the morning in their kitchen. And suddenly we saw, all the time we heard the bombs and artillery all the time, because it was close to the front. Okay, so suddenly I saw through the window a German soldier. Normally everybody was, very exactly you have to look. Here he was open his uniform. Here the carabin, the gun was not on. It was Schnurek.
On a string.
Yeah, not the.
Not the leather strap.
Yeah. And he was like that. I was so happy to see that, And maybe 2 hours, maybe 3 hours later, bang to the door. There was Americans already coming, and they stayed inside. They were invited by the Germans to inside, and one was speaking Polish, but Polish from 50 years ago or something like that. I don't know. But that was fantastic, this moment. And they took us to the little town close to there, where we have been in a hospital, not to be here to care of us, but just to have a bed and to collapse over there.
So, Pani Maria, that was a fantastic story of courage and determination. And these, we can see, are your medals, obviously awarded for your great bravery. But I understand that of all the medals, this is the one of which you are particularly proud.
Yes, because it was for something, for sure, because if not, you don't receive such a cross. And that was given me by my uncle, Remigiusz Groholski, because he was in contact with the Polish army in London, where people were in contact with our underground army in Germany. And through the news how I was working, how and where, I received this cross with hands of him, you already in London, with the letter from Germany where Polish army was to accept this cross. That was for me the best, the most beautiful nagroda.
Prize.
Prize, thank you.
Well, that's marvelous. Then I mean, when I hear these stories of bravery and the things you've been through, it's just absolutely amazing.
The other, it's for all kinds of things already given me in Poland, in free Poland.
But this is the one which is.
That's the most important.
This
for
is
me.
the most important one. Marvelous. Well, look, that's been a marvelous story, and thank you very much for sharing your experiences with us. It's been a great pleasure and indeed an honour to meet somebody who's had such a heroic life. So, thank you very much indeed. That's very kind. Thank you.
Hello and welcome to Poland Daily Travel. Today we head west. Our destination is the Palace and Grounds at Radziowice. Situated about 40 kilometers west of Warsaw, the Palace complex is a haven for artists and a welcome spot to retire to the countryside for travelers. It's a complex of classical residences surrounded by a park. And it's been a cultural center since 1965. The Radziowice family first built the castle in the 1500s. During the palace's heyday, it was a residence to various kings of the Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth. During the 17 and 1800s, the Krasiński family gave the complex its present look. And currently, the castle and the complex are visited by writers, columnists, actors, filmmakers, musicians, and visual artists. So come along and let's take a look at the Radziowice Castle, Palace, and Grounds. The weather's perfect. Let's go for a walk. And watch Poland Daily Travel. We're glad to be here for you.
Hello everybody and welcome back to Poland Daily, here on a beautiful Friday afternoon in August, outside of Warsaw, about 50 kilometers away. We are at the Radziowice Palace complex. It's not just a palace, it's an arts center and a restaurant and guest houses across the way here. It's about 30 hectares of beauty with a nice big lake and all kinds of things like that. Everything you expect, I suppose you could say, from a country house, a country palace. And a distinguished history over 500 years. So it's not a surprise that artists find some kind of solitude to work here. Right now, there's a master class of piano going on with people coming from all over the world as students to learn from various famous composers. But another thing that's very important here is the patron of this place and some statues or busts related to sculptures related to some famous Polish and other artists, mostly famous Polish artists. Here is Count Krasiński, and he is the guy who started it all. Born in 1870, died in 1940, just about around the first year of the war, first complete year of the war. And his family owned this place at that time, the Second World War broke out.
You know what I like about this guy
He's an important guy. What do you like about Count Kraszinski?
There is this Latin quotation right in here.
Right. This one.
Which says, Amor patriae nostra lex. Which means that loving your homeland is your duty.
Right. Okay.
That's your right to love your homeland, to love your homeland country.
Look, where do you come from?
And look, he was born.
So he symbolizes that, doesn't he?
He symbolizes circulation of Polish history, and he was born before we got back our independence. Look, 1870, we know that date, it was tough over then. This is where Madame Curie, Maria Skłodowska, was born in Warsaw's old town. She had to emigrate, many people had to emigrate, and he was developing this place. He stayed in here as the last owner of Radziejowice Palace of Krasiński family, and he was 48 when Poland got back the independence. When
1919.
Exactly. 1919 Treaty of Versailles. So it was all happening in his late 40s, and he was there when World War II started, and he was taken from here to Dachau and killed over there in Nazi German concentration camp next to Munich. So he lived it through, and he started in the difficult days of Poland, and he ended in the difficult days of Poland. And he claims to be the friend of artists who could stay in here and do their job and enjoy this place. And there he is, right next to the entrance of this property. And even though he had such a difficult life, still he's considered to be the symbol of loving your homeland.
Hey, you know, it's a good point. I think there's another guy over here we should mention. We've talked about him before, but let's talk about him because you mentioned the end of the war and the beginning of Polish independence. Well, who was prime minister at that time? If none other than this fellow.
Of course. Yeah. Paderewski, we know this guy.
Ignacy Paderewski, you see. That's who's on this bust here. Ignacy Paderewski, a great man. I think we can agree.
Oh, the gentleman who continues this idea of loving your... He wouldn't start his concert not saying, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Jan Ignacy Paderewski, I am Polish, I want Poland to be independent again, and then he would start playing.
Yeah, thrilling.
These are people, these are real fathers and
there are
mothers.
Recordings of him, you can hear him on YouTube.
You can do it, or you can go to Bristol Hotel in Warsaw and you can take a look at his sculpture right next to the Royal Route. You can sleep in a room where his Prime Minister office was in Bristol Hotel.
That's right.
When we got back our independence. He was an artist, so he was a friend of the owner of this place, of this area. And
amazing guy.
That's the soil of Poland. Yeah. This is what today's Poland are made of. That's the flesh. That's
right.
The body.
Mr. Paderewski to us.
Mr. Paderewski, Mr. Krasiński, who else?
Yeah,
is waiting?
We'll see.
Let's check it out.
Let's check it out.
Look, there's Chopin.
We're very lucky this weather. It's
there's
amazing.
Frédéric Chopin.
This is Chopin. I never heard of him.
Never heard of him? That's the best.
Paderewski, I've heard of.
The best Polish vodka. Chopin, you can hear.
I don't drink.
You can hear the music on the next day.
I don't drink the hard stuff.
This one.
Occasional beer.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, I don't drink the hard stuff.
Okay.
That's why I don't know about
So
it.
you are sure that you want to make this thing about Poland?
No. Why should I? Chopin, really? Is that his name? Sounds like a French guy to me.
Oh. Well, I think
this is the old art. This is what the French try to claim him, don't they?
It's like I've explained it to you 5 times.
Okay.
But this is the day where we will do it for the 6th.
Okay. So explain him to me again.
Yes, of course. So look, when there was
I just can't remember anything.
Do you know about French Revolution? Do you know about lower class of society killing the aristocratic and most important? They even decapitated French King Ludwig XVI.
Of course I know about that.
Okay, so this is when people from France were emigrating to Poland to look for a better job. So Nicolas Chopin comes to Poland as a 16 years old aristocratic roots gentleman. He's hosted by Skarbek family, and Nicolas is teaching Polish children French as a native speaker. And then he meets a maid, Polish lady, Justyna Krzyżanowska. They have 4 children, sons of an immigrant, and son and 3 daughters of an immigrant and a Polish lady.
So you're telling me that Chopin could have been president of France because his father was French. Is that the whole point of this?
I think that Frédéric Chopin would prefer to sit in a room with no light, no audience, and no piano, and provide a concert like this. Fragile, romantic personality, living in a romantic era, presenting Polish history throughout his masterpieces in a moment when Poland was not on the maps. So he's the guy most important of all of the mentioned guys before, and he died at the age of 39 because of tuberculosis. His last will: where your treasure is, there your heart should be. So his heart was taken to the Holy Cross Church in Warsaw, and it's there today. You can take a look at the column where his heart is buried, and then you can come in here.
It's embedded in the column. And we actually were there before, all kidding aside.
Yes.
Yeah. I wanted you to explain why this whole French controversy.
Of course. Yeah. And we just need you to follow every single Poland Daily Travel episode, so you know.
So, if you follow all of the Poland Daily episodes, there's only about, I don't know, a few hundred by now. If you follow all those episodes, you'll know exactly what we're talking about. Hey, stay tuned to Poland Daily. We're at the Rajowice Palace. I'm here with Arthur. We're having a lot of fun today. You know, they've just said to us, come here, and Poland Daily, you can come here and you can walk around and just enjoy yourselves and make sure that you show how beautiful it is to people who don't know about it. And that's what we aim to do. As well as have a good conversation, I hope.
That's our legacy. They had theirs, we have ours, and everything goes exactly the same direction. The beautiful direction of Polish history and Poland Daily Travel.
Yeah. Stick with us. Poland Daily Travel with me and with Arthur. We're having some fun in Rajowice.